Welcome back to my journey. This is where we left things in episode 12, adding on. But if you haven't watched it yet, I'll leave a link in the description below. Now, in the last episode, we built the base for the porch, from the footers to the supporting members up top. Today we're going to be adding the roof and framing up the rafters that we're going to be using. For this, I'm going to start off with this 2x6 that I milled, carefully marking the total run to the bird's mouth. We're going to get this rafter ready to go to get started, and then we're going to change over to 4x6s for most of the other rafters. The reason for this one being a 2x6 is it's going to go up against the wall, so it's going to be nailed in to the posts of the main structure of the building. Fastening this rafter to the supports inside the building, I'm using a 60D nail, which is about 6 inches long and 1/4 inch thick. This will get me through the siding and into the posts on the inside of the cabin, which will give superior holding strength. To get the length of the rafter, I've marked up at the top where the rafter is going to hit the existing building, and I'm measuring out to the end of my beam. That's where the bird's mouth cut will go that will sit on top of the beam. It's also important to remove any bark that's left on your lumber after milling it to deter insects from finding a home in between the bark and your wood, which could do damage in the long run. To cut the rafters, I'm using a framing square to make a 3/12 pitch cut. As you can see, I've got stair gauges on it right now, so every time I set it, I have it set at the same angle. Every time. That measurement that we took up top a little while ago is what we're going to transfer onto this rafter. From there, we're going to mark out a plumb cut, which will be a line that we'll be cutting for our bird's mouth. I'm going to leave 3.5 inches of meat on the rafter to sit above the beam. This is where we'll make our level cut, which is a 90-degree angle off of your plumb cut. When making this bird's mouth cut, I only cut with a circular saw to the lines, and then I finish it off with my hand saw. Well, it's time to start getting some more rafters ready. I've got some 4x12 beams that I need to cut down to 6 inches. For that, I'll be using my sawmill to cut them down. For anybody new joining me on this journey, my sawmill's a Woodland Mills 126. They're not a sponsor in any way, but I have been very happy with this mill. It's a great hobby mill, not a production mill, but a great hobby mill. Next, we'll go to the front side and I'll mark that top point again with my chalk line. That way I can go to the middle where I've got a post on the inside that I'm going to use the bear of this rafter against. Now that I know where it's located on the building side, we're going to transfer that over to this beam so it comes out fairly square. This hip rafter will be slightly longer than the other ones due to its angle. I'm also going to be beveling the inside corner of this one to wrap around the corner. I could use two 2x6s for this, but I've decided to use a 4x6 and make it one solid beam because we're going to be able to see this from the underside once the porch is framed and roofed. As you can see, I let my overhangs run a little wild on this. I wasn't quite sure how long I wanted to make them at first, and I wanted to see what they looked like up in the air. So I've just picked a number, and now I'm going to chalk across to make a straight line, and then I'll cut and trim the ends. Here's what it looked like with the ends trimmed. Now, I did go back and add some center rafters in between because I didn't like them being apart 6 foot. I wanted to add a little bit more rigidity to the frame. I didn't get that on camera, but you'll see it in the next video where we put on the roof. At this point in my journey, I had to mill a little bit more lumber to make the purlins. So I had this red oak log sitting up by the sawmill, which we're going to mill up to give us a little bit more material to finish this project. So this is the lumber we got out of that one log. It made all the purlins that we needed for the roof, plus a nice cant to make some siding with later. We'll add the fascia, and then it will be ready for the metal roof. Here it is framed up for the most part. Like I said, I'm going to add a few rafters in between those long spans because I don't like the 6-foot spans and want to shorten those. But for the most part, it's ready for the metal now. In the next episode on our journey, we'll be going through how we install the metal in the finished product of this roof. And as always, thanks for watching my journey. If you like this episode, share with your friends, like it, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. I hope to see you on the next part of my journey. I've got a lot more to share with you.